Today, I'm going to introduce you guys to a game I've been wanting to try for a long time. It's called Wartales. I've only heard good things about this game, and the Steam reviews, they seem to back that up. Wartales is an open-world strategy RPG where you get to lead a band of mercenaries and roam the land, completing quests and bounties, or robbing and pillaging, all in the pursuit of fame and riches. It actually reminds me a lot of Bannerlord in many ways, even though the combat is just massively different. But it's a game you can spend literally hundreds of hours in. Wartales is currently on the Steam Spring Sale, but maybe an even better value is it's also currently on the PC Game Pass, which it's the best bargain in gaming at $9.99 a month. Special shout out to Microsoft for giving me access to the PC Game Pass library so that I could make this video happen. When you start a new game in Wartales, you get to really customize your gameplay experience. This starts with choosing your starting band of mercenaries. You can customize their looks and names, and their origin stories. The origin you choose for your starting band, it'll give you certain bonuses, but also come with certain negatives too. I personally went with the deserters for the combat bonuses. After this, you get to decide how the game will play. You have adaptive exploration, where the entire game will scale to your character's level to offer a consistent challenge, or you have region-locked exploration, where every region has a set level range. This is kind of more the main story mode. I went with the latter. I always like to feel the power of my characters grow with levels, so I'm not the biggest fan of the adaptive version. You can also choose the difficulty of your choice for both the combat and survival aspects of the game. This is great for the players who want challenging combat like me, but they don't want to stop and feed their character every 2 minutes. I'll admit to being an enjoyer of only light survival elements in games, otherwise it gets a little bit too tedious, so it's great that you can personalize this element of the gameplay. As we now begin our open world campaign, you're thrown right into the world with your band and a pony, and you can just begin wandering around looking for enemies to fight, resources to gather, and towns to discover. Just how you move around the map, this is where the game, it reminds me of Bannerlord, where you're kind of like above your whole party as it moves. And as you roam around, you're gonna encounter different parties of bandits or even wolves and other animals to fight with. And you're gonna notice the combat, it's nothing like Bannerlord's, it's a turn-based strategy game. And this type of combat, I know it's not for everyone, it's got a slower pace to it, and this might be blasphemy, but as someone who burned out on the Baldur's Gate 3 combat, that was just a tad too slow for me with too many misses and wasted times. I think Wartales, it's a great mix of being strategic while dropping you right into the battle in a more condensed area, and it's pretty respectful of the player's time. Now, if you walk around and complete enough quests, you're gonna have to camp. This is where those survival elements kick in, as you have to not only pay your troops, but you have to feed them as well. This camp is where much of the progression of the game happens. You can progress your troops here, and Wartales has the expected medieval game classes: sword and shield fighters, spearmen, two-handed specialists, archers, bandits, the run-of-the-mill stuff. And while this might seem kind of basic, each class has 3 customization paths that can change their abilities and playstyles, so there's actually quite a bit of variety here. You can even add crafting tables and other buildables to your camp to not only make items, but to provide your party with special bonuses. Speaking of crafting, each mercenary can choose a profession, from a blacksmith to a fisherman or a cook, and I really like this system because it's very respectful of the player's time. Again, like the fishing game, it's kind of quick and rewarding without making it a multi-minute slog of catching one fish. The speed you can get through the crafting mini games makes it much less tedious than many other games I've tried. Now, while the game is more of a sandboxy RPG, however, there are quests to help focus your adventure in the form of bounties. These are picked up in the main towns at the inns. The towns are also usually a good spot to find information on the main storyline. Many of these missions with the main storyline, they have multiple different paths or decisions that can impact the rest of your game. Who you choose to help or kill, these choices will affect your playthrough, and this makes Wartales have incredible replay value. Now, I mentioned replay value for a specific reason here. This is the type of game you can spend $30 on and just get an incredible value for your dollar. There are hundreds of hours of playability to this game, and it receives regular updates from the developers. The game has a very dedicated fan base, and if you enjoy games like Bannerlord or Baldur's Gate, I think you're also going to really enjoy Wartales 2. It's a high recommend for me. Now, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. Champ out.